Welcome to LawNext PR, the podcast where we put a spotlight on the latest news coming out of the legal tech industry. This is Bob Ambrogi, and in each sponsored episode of LawNext PR, I interview a legal tech company about its just released news or latest developments. Today we're talking about the launch of AllRize law practice management platform, and to tell us about it, my guest is Eric Ruda, the CEO of AllRize. Eric, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Good to talk to you. And this is pretty exciting that you've you recently launched AllRize. Could we just start by asking you to tell me a little bit about why you wanted to launch this and who your target firm is in terms of size or type of practice?
Sure. Yeah, we're extremely excited to announce AllRize. And AllRize was designed and developed based on what we saw as a huge need in the market. Our leadership team, including myself, have years of experience providing IT services exclusively to law firms. And I can't tell you how many times we see law firms and legal departments fall into the following three categories. One, they're either using outdated technology, it's slow, not secure, and they're not able to take advantage of all the technological advances that have come out over the past few years. And then the second would be homegrown solutions that inevitably become too costly to keep up with all the necessary changes and maintain it properly in-house. And third, what we see, and we're seeing this more and more, is that they are using a cloud solution that integrates with Microsoft, which I think like 80% of the legal market uses Microsoft and Microsoft 365. Including for their productivity tools, including Outlook, Word, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, and the rest. However, it wasn't planned properly or implemented properly, and I don't care how good your software is, if it's not implemented properly, we all know it's going to be a disaster, right? We also see a lot they're using technology like legacy tools or point solutions that solve one specific problem, but don't take anything else into consideration. So what happens then, right? Then you have data in different places that aren't integrated together. They have clunky integrations with Microsoft and other solutions. It's very difficult to get reporting out of it, especially financial data if necessary. So that's really what AllRize was designed to specifically solve for these scenarios. AllRize was built by lawyers for lawyers, built on Microsoft Dynamics 365. It has a modular platform architecture. What that essentially means is you have a core common set of technology that's based on Microsoft 365 Dynamics and Microsoft Copilot AI. And then you have modules on top that can plug into that and take advantage of all of that technology. The four modules that we currently have are CRM, matter management, calendaring, and accounting, which really truly makes it an end-to-end solution.
Yeah. So what is the right size of firm for AllRize? Are you targeting a particular size of firm or a particular type of firm at all?
I would say 10 plus is probably the right size. You know, the more attorneys and paralegals and admin staff that you have that can take advantage of the power of the platform, I think, you get the highest return on investment.
Yeah. Eric, you talked about the problem of point solutions. Actually, all three problems that you outlined are ones that I see all the time. The one of point solutions is one that I think I see a lot of law firms struggling with that. And you've talked about the kind of the four major modules you have, but could you elaborate a little bit more on, what are some of the capabilities of AllRize that it offers for a law firm?
Sure. There are actually three key points that I think deserve explanation, and they're all kind of related to each other. One, first, we've partnered with Microsoft and built the AllRize platform on the Microsoft Dynamics technology, like I mentioned earlier. And why is that important? Why did we do that? It's important because Microsoft invests around $30 billion annually in R&D for its massive software suites, and that's including Microsoft Dynamics. So there's a steady stream of new technological advancements and innovations, most of which are also added to Dynamics and therefore added to AllRize. Second, we continuously leverage Microsoft technologies to create new AllRize features and functions specifically for the legal market. And then third, many of our leadership and engineering team have extensive prior experience managing IT departments for law firms, like I mentioned previously. And that's taught us a lot about what law firms really want and need from legal technology to improve their operational efficiency and ultimately be more profitable. So it's this collective experience, leveraging Microsoft R&D technology, delivering AllRize engineering expertise, managing IT departments within law firms that really enable us to deliver a complete law practice management software and service solution with the automation and intelligence required to grow their business.
Well, you talked about the service aspect of it, and I know that you're offering customers new customers a year of white glove customer service and support, and I'm guessing most law firms would pay just for that technical support. But why did you decide to offer that free, and what does that exactly mean? What do you offer?
That really goes back to what we discussed earlier, or just a little while ago, about how we're running IT departments for law firms and seeing how decent software or even good software is providing a fraction of the ROI due to poor implementation and rollout, right? Like we talked about earlier, I don't care how good the software is, if you don't implement it properly, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to take a very long time to fix a lot of those problems. So our commitment to white glove service is really ingrained in our culture. So we believe that every customer deserves a white glove service, and we deliver.
That's great. It is interesting. I've seen over the years. You just alluded to this, but the problem that law firms buy software. I think this is a problem generic to the software industry, but law firms in particular will buy software and use only a portion of what its capabilities are, and then perhaps complain that the software doesn't do what they need. So it seems like that implementation part of it is really critical, I think, and that white glove service could be really critical to driving adoption and use of the software.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, it's like there's either too much functionality or not enough, right? You give too much functionality and it's hard to use. So you have to kind of, find that fine line, or walk that fine line.
Yeah. And again, we've talked a little bit about the fact that you are leveraging various aspects of Microsoft technology, and with AI being such a hot topic these days, I know that you're particularly leveraging some of Microsoft's Copilot AI technology. Could you elaborate a little bit on how you're doing that, what some of the use cases are that law firms could automate through the combination of AllRize and Copilot?
It's a great question. The way I feel, law firms are very curious about AI, but they're still trying to determine, the best use cases to use the technology. I feel like we may have a little bit of an unfair advantage because we are built on top of Dynamics, and Copilot is infused in everything that we build. But the few use cases that we see mostly used currently are reviewing and organizing documents, automating client intake, conducting research and summarizing matters and case data, handling repetitive tasks, and even helping with new business development. And, the one thing, having Copilot and having everything built on that Microsoft architecture really enables firms to experiment with it. Right, to experiment with the technology and works best for their firm. I think what we need to do, more of what needs to happen is, I think people right now are getting AI and trying to find a problem to solve it, to do with it. What we really need to do is identify problems and identify pain points that you want to, that you want to leverage the technology to solve. And I think that's a better approach.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good advice. I know that as you say, some firms are they're going out and buying or testing different AI products, when really with Copilot, they can do a lot of that testing and a lot of that figuring out what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And then maybe they go on to some other solution at some point if they need it or not. But there's a lot of capability right there that they have available to them.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So now that you've brought AllRize to market, what are your future plans? What lies ahead for the product going forward?
It's early days for us, but we're currently focused on two strategic paths. through our partnership with Microsoft, we want to continue to tap into the power of Copilot as an AI engine that can deliver significant value to law firms as we see it. And then two, we're considering leveraging our past experiences in professional services to offer law firms a suite of service options that can help them really optimize the performance of AllRize, IT infrastructure, and their business as a whole.
That all sounds good. Well, I've appreciated having this chance to talk to you and learn a little bit about AllRize and share that information with our audience. Is there anything else that you'd like to share in terms of final thoughts, or that you would like listeners to know about AllRize?
Yeah, actually, we'd like to, since this is a new SaaS offering, we'd like to provide a 30-day free trial to any law firm interested, in experiencing the power of the AllRize Law Practice Management Platform. You can just leave your name, and the best way to contact us is at allrize.ai/trial, and that's AllRize, ALLRIZE.ai/trial. Go up and get started. It's that simple.
Sounds good. And I like the name, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Eric, thanks so much for being with us today to talk about it. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was really, really good time. Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or you can find us on YouTube at LawNext_PR. You can also find all of our episodes of the LawNext Legal Tech directory under the Resources tab. This is Bob Ambrogi. Thanks for listening.